Before the video starts, this is something that I actually started working on January of 2023 and then just kind of ended up dropping even though I was fairly far through making it. I had filmed all the live action bits, I had played through all of the games, the only thing I hadn't done was record the voiceover, but for some reason I just never did it. This was always intended to be somewhat of a background series to whatever marathon was going on, and it's been sitting on my hard drive for a while, so I figured I might as well just finish it up. And I mention it in the script, but this was always going to be something that I didn't really know when the next part would come out, as it would always be in the background, and that goes double now that I've decided to make the Sonic Frontiers review a video essay. So I really don't know when I'll ever pick this series up again. But, I mean, if you want me to, then just let me know, and I'll maybe do that. I will definitely get back to it eventually though, but for now, just enjoy this video that should have come out like a year ago. Also, this was from when I was a lot worse at writing scripts and I only made very minor changes to it, so keep that in mind while watching, that if you notice the script is kind of jarring, it doesn't have very good transitions. I know! I don't like it either. Oh hello, I've been rotated, and I don't know how to get back to the correct orientation, so please send help. This is part 1 of a 4-part retrospective that I am not prioritizing, so I do not know when each part will come out. Frankly, I don't even know if they will come out. This was supposed to start happening back in like February, and it is currently July. For one more hour. So yeah, not prioritizing this over the marathons. Sonic and God of War still take precedent, along with a couple other sporadic videos that I've been working on. Like, there's no way they could. The Mortal Kombat video, obviously not Sonic or God of War. So yeah, just doing extra stuff and decided to finish this. Fuck, this intro got away from me. Enjoy part 1. Who doesn't know Mega Man? Once a titan of 2D platformers from the NES all the way to the PlayStation, but then he disappeared. And he came back. And he disappeared again. And then he came back again. And it's been radio silence since. But there's more to Mega Man than just the 11 games of the classic series. You had the Legends games that served as Mega Man's 3D debut. There were the Battle Network games, the Zero and ZX series, and the original spin-off series, Mega Man X. Into Mega Man through the X series. I used to think that this was the 10th Mega Man game, which is weird because I played the actual 10th Mega Man game before. Kidding me was stupid. I eventually bought the game on the Wii U's Virtual Console and never beat it until the Legacy Collection came out, which is when I decided to really get down and dirty with the rest of the series. I'm playing these games off the Legacy Collection, and despite what you may think, I'm not actually good at video games, so there are points where I did use Rookie Hunter mode because I felt stuck, but I tried to keep it limited. I did, however, use it for the boss rushes to make them less tedious, although it definitely didn't make them any less mindless. I kinda wish they found a middle ground for an easier difficulty because, I mean, look at this. If I didn't know better, I'd say I'd gain health from getting hit. I tried to not use it or guides for the games we're not familiar with, but I don't really care in the end. You can judge me if you want, just leave your complaint in the complaint box. With that being said, let's get started because we're gonna be here for a while. The first game was released in January 1994 in North America. Mega Man X was the Blue Bomber's jump to the 16-bit generation and a sequel series to the NES games. The original series would end up making the jump with Mega Man 7, but for a while, X was Mega Man's face on the Super Nintendo. Taking place 100 years after the classic series, starring another of Dr. Light's creations, Mega Man X, a robot with complete free will. X would go through 30 years of tests to make sure that he would use his free will responsibly, and the person who ends up finding X, Dr. Kane, ends up impressed with his free will and creates similar robots called Reploids. But Reploids were too similar to humans, as some of them were massive dicks, wanting to hurt humans and being called Mavericks. This is where X comes in, as he's one of the Maverick Hunters, trying to stop them and their leader, former Maverick Hunter, Sigma. Now there's some questions that should come up. Firstly being, where are all the classic characters? They're robots, they should, in theory, live this long. Well, the X series was supposed to have a darker tone, so being in this cold world where humanity is constantly threatened by Sigma and his Mavericks, and then seeing Otto would be kind of jarring. But still, that means that they all must have died, which I don't really like thinking about. The first game picks up with X and his friend Zero, but mostly X, who have to stop the 8 Mavericks and storm Sigma's fortress. Zero was actually the original design for X before they decided to just redesign classic Mega Man so fans wouldn't be thrown off. After a short intro level where we're introduced to Zero and Vile, we get the classic Mega Man treatment, 8 Mavericks and 3 Sigma stages. But things are different in the X games. Firstly, you'll notice the pitiful amount of health X has, and that's because every Maverick stage has a heart container to increase your health. This is one of the X series core elements. Instead of just trying to get through the level, you're now trying to explore and find all the secrets. For example, there are 4 sub-tanks in the game, which you can refill as opposed to the one-use E-tanks, and there are 4 armor pieces for X that upgrade his abilities and movement. The first one most people get is in Chill Penguin stage. The leg upgrade is impossible to miss and gives you the ability to dash, which further emphasizes how much faster the X series is meant to be when compared to the classic series. The dash can also add some kick to your wall jump, which I didn't know for the longest time. I always thought people were just doing magic to get the heart piece in Spark Manjo stage, but little did I know that you could just dash while wall jumping the whole time and get a lot more distance. In classic Mega Man fashion, you get weapons from the bosses that serve as the weakness to another boss, and for the first game there's pretty solid logic to it. Fire melts ice, ice freezes sparks, wind can blow out fire. Okay, so the logic isn't as solid as the first few classic games, but thankfully the weapons are still very useful outside of the bosses. Storm Tornado being my favorite because it's long, it can hit multiple times, and just clears out anything horizontally. The flamethrower also rips some things into shreds, and electric spark is pretty good for things on walls. Ice shot's pretty good for shield guys wherever there's a wall behind them at least. And once you get the arm upgrade that lets you hold a bigger charge shot, you can charge up the weapons too, which is awesome, creating an ice sled, a shield that kills small enemies, straight up invincibility for a short time. There's so much at your disposal at any given time, so you're always well equipped for anything the game throws at you. Even at the start when you can do nothing but shoot and wish you could do more. I mentioned earlier the darker tone that this series was going for, and in my opinion the level themes and music portray this amazingly. The levels are in these dark military facilities and everything looks so grim but without being dull, and some of the music. Amazing. I love this soundtrack, one of the all-time greats, dare I say. The levels are rewarding to explore, whether you find a heart container, sub-tank, or new armor pieces, but some can be annoying to get, like the arm upgrade in Flame Mammoth stage, where not only is the jump tricky, but if you fuck it up, then you just have to die and try again from the beginning of the level. And some are just straight up impossible at first until you revisit some stages and find out that the levels change based on what bosses are defeated. Flame Mammoth's lava freezes after you've beaten Chill Penguin. Beating Storm Eagle causes his ship to crash into Spark Manjo stage, causing a power outage. And the bosses themselves can even be weak to weapons outside of just damage. Using Electric Spark on Armored Armadillo causes his armor to break, making him vulnerable while he's in a ball. Shotgun Ice freezes Spark Mandrill and makes him a joke, but those are their weaknesses to be fair. But Boomerang Cutter can be used to cut off Flame Mammoth's trunk and launch Octopus tentacles, completely nuking a few of their attacks. And once you've gotten all the items, if you go to the end of Armored Armadillo stage, get this health pick up and die 4 times, you unlock the final armor capsule where Dr. Light teaches you the Hadouken. You need full health to use it, but it one-shots everything. Like Sigma's dog, Old Yeller's got nothing on this guy. The jump can be a bit easy to miss because of all the birds in the way, and sometimes you just can't shoot them and oh shit, haha, fuck you game, I'm alive. Hopefully the car respawns at the what the fuck is going on? No, seriously, what the fuck happened? I guess I wasn't supposed to be able to get back here. I thought these guys were just special at first, but no. Every enemy is now just blue for some reason. After all of the Mavericks are beaten, you unlock the Sigma stages, like Wily's Fortresses from the classic games, but you don't have to marathon them. You're taken back to the stage select after each one. In Sigma Stage 1, Zero sacrifices himself to help X beat Vile. Yeah, remember them? They disappeared after the intro stage, but Zero, no! I mean, it doesn't have to end like this. Maybe you could, like, hide yourself and repair yourself or something. Also, why are you bleeding? You're a robot. Anyway, he's dead, so let's go kill Sigma. A gauntlet of 3 fights. The dog, Luke Guyballer, you know this, and Vile's designer just asking for a cease and desist. And this thing. Whatever the hell this is. With Sigma dead, X looks out to the horizon and hopes that he can leave his days of fighting behind him and that the world may find peace one day. Now, how many games are left? Oh no. This is up there as one of my favorite games. Up there close to Super Metroid. Now I wouldn't say top 5 because 5 is too small of a number for me to put all my favorite games in there. But I always enjoy going back to it. I always enjoy replaying it. Most of the times when I play it, the first thing I think when I beat it is, you know what, I should do that again. There's a reason that if you go far back enough on my channel, my very first playthrough back when I was trying to figure out how OBS works and how to just basically edit, like, you know, just jump cuts and all that, the very first playthrough I did was Mega Man X. I am aware of the PSP remake, but I'm going to look at that along with the other handheld games in their own parts. And this game was also remade on mobile phones. No, but I implore you to play it in some way. I mean, it's really good fast-paced action, a very good challenge, pretty much the perfect SNES game. We just started and the bar is already set way too high, so let's see if X2 can somehow pole vault over it. Oh god, it's coming right at us! This game and X3 made use of the CX4 chip in the cartridge to create these pseudo 3D effects that show up occasionally, and makes these games expensive as balls. I wouldn't pay this money if God himself came down and asked for it. Well, looks like the fight against the Mavericks wasn't as over as we thought. After the downfall of Sigma, X is still fighting the good fight with his friend Green Dude. He seems cool. I will name him... Never mind. So, X is back with almost none of his upgrades from the last game except for the dash, thank God. I think the reason the dash was an upgrade in X1 was so that classic fans could ease into the gameplay a bit more. Now, I don't actually remember where I heard that, so take it for what you will. But in my defense, it was revealed to me in a dream, so it's probably true. After a pitifully easy first level, we get a new list of 8 Mavericks to tackle, and after beating 2 of them, this group calling themselves the X-Hunters tell X and Dr. Kane that they have Zero's body parts, and that X has to fight them to get him back. I hate this. It's bad enough that the bosses are pretty difficult, but they also appear at random, meaning if you want all of the parts, at some point you're gonna have to break your route and go fight one of the X-Hunters, possibly underprepared. All just to skip a fight with Zero at the end. Though I do love the scene where you would fight Zero, but you got all the parts. Sigma has this dollar store Zero, and the real one comes in and starts talking shit. There is only one Zero. 10. Also, Sigma drops a line about Zero being destined to follow him as a Maverick, claiming to know some dark secret, even mentioning that he is the last of the Doctor's creations. That shadowing do before, don't it? Wait, Sigma? Oh, son of a bitch. Yeah, the biblically accurate Sigma male is back, which to be fair was teased at the end of the last game. We fight Sigma, who is now ripping off Wolverine. And whoa, look at those wireframes! It's like 3D! Sigma dies again. We get to watch the sunset with Zero this time. Pretty much the exact same story as X1, but Zero does the opposite of dying. Not that that's a problem, because more X is usually good. The game tries to enhance the style a bit more than the first game. The riot armor has a few more uses, whereas before it was just like a pretty cool segment that was easy to forget about. Most of Overdrive Ostrich's stage lets you ride a bike that will probably break on you during your first time because you have to shoot down these ramps. Luckily it's not the only way to get this heart container, so the challenge is not forced on you. Hell, I think you could just walk right through this whole section. And as for that heart container, nothing beats just killing yourself to get it. The armor upgrades also went through minor changes. The legs this time now let you dash in the air, which is pretty cool. The chest gives you a screen nuke that you have to charge up by getting hit by projectiles. The helmet upgrade shows you secrets if you come to a full stop and scan every screen, so I just hate using it and would rather just use the all-powerful internet. The arm upgrade though is way better than last time. Not only can you charge weapons, but you can also charge 2 shots. And you can get it early by selling your soul to make this jump. Well, that was a little emasculating. Thankfully there's another heart container that you can cheese just by damage boosting up this spike wall. Some pretty good changes, I'd say. Unfortunately the save's not the truth for the weapons. I like a few of them, but I don't find any of them as fun to use as X1. Music is also a step down. It's great while you're playing, but no tracks really stick with me after I'm done, as opposed to X1's amazing soundtrack. But the stages and bosses themselves are pretty much just like last time. That being said, it's pretty much just more Mega Man X. Not as good like I said, but if you liked X1, chances are you're gonna like X2. It is a damn good game. This is the first of the games that I haven't really played much of. I've tried to, but this game tends to get skipped in favor of X4. Speaking of which, this game actually did have a PlayStation release. Why isn't this part of the Legacy Collection? It's basically the same game, just with fancy cutscenes and slightly altered music. And I don't think it was released in North America. So this would have been the perfect opportunity to bring it over, at least the cutscenes. If you brought Day of Sigma, you know, why not the other release of Mega Man X3? I've stopped expecting Capcom to do the right thing, or the smart thing, or even the comprehensible thing. In this game, a scientist named Dr. Doppler seemingly develops a way to stop Reploids from going maverick. The reformed Reploids end up creating a utopian society near the Doctor named Doppler Town. Very creative. Nothing could possibly go wrong. Damn it, everything went wrong. Some Reploids started going maverick again and attacked the Hunter HQ. Doppler is held accountable as the Mavericks were his followers, and he sends out Bit and Byte to capture X because he's too powerful. Yeah, they make it clear he's evil. He also sends out one named Mysterious Maverick, whose identity is a worse kept secret than who the final boss of this game will be. In the intro stage, we see just how influential Doppler is, as X is almost immediately betrayed by this guy. Wait, X is captured, so does that mean... Oh shit, we get to play as Zero. His health bar is huge, he has 3 charge shots, and he can shred the Maverick that took X. Now take a nice long look at Zero, because I am not going to be using him at all. I knew going into this how poorly handled Zero was. You can call on him once per level, but if he dies, then that's it. He also can't even fight bosses, even if there's nothing in the sub-boss room. Zero leaves and you can't call him again. So I just stuck with X, who's the same as before. I also don't know where any of the items are, so I'll have to come back here for cleanup. Now, the first thing I noticed was that it felt like the damage was amped up for this game a shit ton. I don't know how much of this is from me getting hit more because I'm unfamiliar with the game, adding on to getting used to not only less health but also not having the damage reduction from chest armor, but Jesus Christ, it feels like I'm dying a shit ton here. I'm needing to turn on rookie hunter mode for damn near every boss, which sucks because like I said earlier, that just makes the game almost brain dead. You go from contact with enemies taking half your health to enemy attacks not even doing one bar. Doesn't help that I found the chest piece last, but still, I shouldn't be having this much trouble. Speaking of the armor, it has once again been slightly changed. The chest piece adds this shield thing after you get hit. Maybe it extends invincibility frames. I couldn't tell. I prefer the Screen Nucleum X2 personally. The head now shows you a layout of the level with the secrets highlighted whenever you enter. I don't know if you can use it whenever, but it sort of interrupts the flow. There's a moment before it activates where I keep thinking my controller died or something. The arm upgrade is similar to the double charge shot, but now the shots can combine and I don't like it as much. I feel like I miss more with this, and the wide shot, while cool, never really felt like it was worth charging all the way. The leg upgrade is awesome though. Not only can you air dash, but you can also dash straight up, give you a double jump. I love using this. It's such a simple movement concept, but it makes exploration loads more fun because of the new heights you can reach. And in addition to the new armor set, there are 5 more capsules that have chips to enhance your armor upgrades further. You can only use one, but in Doppler Stage 1, which is code for Sigma Stage 1 by the way, there's a hidden capsule that you need to be at full health to find, and it gives you the gold armor which has all 4 chip enhancements. Ride armor also has a bigger role in this game. Before they were just for short segments of levels where you could rush through killing everything to your heart's content. But here they don't even unlock it till you find the first one hidden in Blast Hornet stage. There are these ride armor pads that let you summon any armor for that area. Some levels have more sets you can find, which adds another thing to collect without taking away something that was standard in the previous games. I actually kind of prefer this way of integrating ride armors. There's a bit more variety, the segments feel a bit longer, and it just helps it not feel like the gimmick that it ultimately is. Also, the boss select screen shows you which items are in each stage, and if you've collected them or not once all of them are dead. This is a great thing too. What took them so long to add something like this? In some levels at seemingly random times, a sub-boss door will lead to a fight with either Bit or Bite. I'm pretty sure the way these fights work is that you kill them with their weaknesses, then they die for good. If not, they appear in the Doppler stages. Once again, this means you might not even have the weakness when they show up. But not needing to break the sequence to look for them makes it a bit better than the X-Hunters, or maybe I just got lucky with when they showed up. Some levels have secret capsules that teleport you to Vile stage, where I'm pretty sure the same rule applies, except here you have to escape, which brings you back to the Maverick level you selected. Once again, I think the weapons have decreased in quality. I sometimes found use for the ones in X2, but I almost never was using these ones. I tried using them more often just to show them off, but who knows, maybe I'd find a use I wasn't expecting. But even most of the charge shots didn't feel worth it. 2 of these weapons feel exactly the same. Also, see these rocks? They're blocking items, so we must need to cut them down. Now, which of these weapons seem like they would cut the rope? The drill? These things that are like just worse boomerang cutters? No, you need to fully charge Triad Thunder and slam the ground to make them fall. Not a big deal, but just who would think of doing that? Even with the map for the headpiece, it doesn't help you solve the problem, it just tells you where it is. Who would think to do this? The music here is fine. Again, no tracks stick with me at all, probably my least favorite so far. Eventually, Doppler is defeated and reveals that the reason he went all evil is because Sigma lives on through this arm. I mean, it's a computer virus that infected the doc so that he could make himself a new body. X fights Sigma, and Sigma tries to infect X, then Zero shows up to jam an antivirus up his ass, unless Zero gets injured, in which Doppler sacrifices himself. The game is fine. Easily the weakest entry so far. I mean, I think Bit and Bite are definitely better handled than the X-Hunters, but they're still random, so it's up to chance if you have their weaknesses or not. And Vile is just thrown in for the sake of, hey, I remember Vile. And him being green is definitely not helping with the Boba Fett allegations. You take too much damage, being able to play as Zero was bust, and the weapons just straight suck. It's not a huge drop in quality, but I'm not losing any sleep over skipping this one in the future. If you like X1 and 2, you'll probably find something to enjoy here, but this game isn't this expensive for the quality, that's for sure. And that is a wrap for the first trilogy of games, a solid lineup for the SNES. X1 is one of my favorite games of all time, X2 was a pretty damn good experience, and I am never going to play X3 again. That is the end of part 1. Next time we're going to look at the trilogy of games released on the PlayStation. And like I said, no clue when that video is going to go up. If definitely not this year. Maybe though, who knows. If we're going off how long it took me to do this video, then things aren't boding well. But like I said, I'm prioritizing the marathons. Shadow's gonna take a while, so those obviously get priority because I'm more committed to those. This is just sort of something I was doing and was like, I should just start recording the gameplay because I was playing X1 and it was like, I want to do a video, so this is that. That is the end of part 1. I don't know when part 2 is going to go up. As I said, I'm prioritizing my other marathons right now, but it will be on the PlayStation trilogy of games. So subscribe notifications on to make sure you don't miss that. And hey, while you're here, go watch some of my God of War marathon videos because that is currently ongoing. And my 3D Sonic marathon videos because that is also ongoing. So please go watch the God of War videos. They don't do that well, but I still said I was going to do them, so there they are. Go watch them, please. And then watch Sonic videos because they're good videos. But the God of War videos need some views. Please, I'm begging. See ya.